Avenue Foch, Paris, April the 14th, 1944, 3:17 in the afternoon. A woman walks into Gestapo headquarters, stolen German officer's coat, red lipstick, briefcase in hand. She looks like she belongs here, like she's done this 100 times before. She has. The guard at the entrance doesn't stop her. Why would he? Confidence is camouflage. Her heels click against marble floors. 40 meters of hallway. SS officers moving between rooms, typewriters, phones, the administrative heart of Nazi terror in occupied France. Third door on the left. She knocks twice. A voice from inside. Herein? She opens the door. The man at the desk looks up, his eyes narrow. He's seen this woman before. But where? She smiles, not nervous, not fake, genuine, warm. The kind of smile that says, I have a secret. His hand moves toward his desk drawer, toward his Luger. Her smile widens. What happens next will determine whether 2,400 people live or die, whether the invasion succeeds or fails, whether this woman becomes legend or just another body in a Paris morgue. But first, you need to understand who she is, how a party girl from Sydney became the Gestapo's most wanted, how a woman who loved champagne learned to kill from 1,000 yards away. This will take time. It's complicated, messy. It involves killing, running, and a surprising amount of bicycle riding. But by the time we get back to that office, to that smile, to the man reaching for his gun, you'll understand why she's smiling, because she always has a plan. August 30th, 1912, Wellington, New Zealand. Evangeline Grace Ashford is born into a world that will try to kill her 6 different ways before she's 40. Her father, Charles, is an American diplomat. Her mother, Ella, is cold, distant, the kind of emotional absence that creates either broken people or unstoppable ones. Eva becomes the second kind. The family moves to Sydney when she's 2. North Sydney, middle class, respectable, the kind of place where young women marry well and disappear into comfortable obscurity. Eva has other plans. At 16, she runs away, takes a small inheritance from an aunt, buys a ticket to New York, disappears. Her mother doesn't look for her, doesn't care. Eva doesn't care either. New York, 1928. The Jazz Age, prohibition, speakeasies and flappers, and money flowing like bootleg whiskey. Eva tries nursing school at Bellevue Hospital. She's smart, quick, good with people, but she can't stand the blood, can't watch people die while she pretends there's hope. She quits after 6 months. For 4 years, she works odd jobs, waitress, shop girl, whatever pays rent. In her spare time, she discovers something at Coney Island, a shooting gallery, carnival game, tin cans and paper targets. Eva tries it once. Hits every target, bullseye, every shot. The operator thinks she's cheating, makes her try again. 20 shots, 20 perfect hits. Something about the focus quiets the noise in her head. The stillness between heartbeats, the moment before the trigger. She doesn't know it yet, but she's a natural. Top 1%. The kind of talent that appears once in 1,000 people. By 1932, she's in Paris, 20 years old, freelance journalist. Fashion shows and society parties for Australian newspapers. A tiny apartment in Montparnasse. Champagne. Dancing until 4 a.m. Dating artists and aristocrats and anyone interesting. Free. Happy. Completely unprepared for what's coming. March 1934. Vienna, Austria. Eva is 22. She takes an assignment. Political event. Quick trip. Get paid. Get back to Paris. She arrives to chaos. The Nazis just took power in Germany. Austrian Nazis are emboldened, attacking Jews in the streets. Eva watches from her hotel window. SS brown shirts drag an elderly man from his shop, beat him with clubs, make him scrub the sidewalk with a toothbrush while they laugh. A woman tries to defend her husband, maybe 60 years old. They beat her too. Her face splits open, blood on pavement. The crowd watches. Nobody helps. Something hardens inside Eva that day. Not breaks, hardens. Crystallizes into something sharp and unbreakable. She returns to Paris changed. The parties continue, but they mean less. She pays attention to politics now, to fascism, to the way evil spreads when good people do nothing. Eva doesn't know it yet, but the elderly man she witnessed, his name is Jacob Stern, renowned physicist. In 1938, the Nazis will force him to flee Vienna. In 1942, Eva will smuggle his grandson to safety, refugee number 412. That grandson will become a doctor, will save 3,000 lives over his career. One moment of witness in Vienna, one rescue 8 years later, 3,000 lives, saved decades after that. The mathematics of heroism. She meets Henri Beaumont in 1937. 42 years old, French industrialist, wealthy, kind, everything her mother would have wanted, which makes Eva suspicious. But Henri is genuine. He loves her, not the idea of her. Her. They marry November 1938. Eva is 26, 5 weeks after Germany invades Austria, 5 weeks before war. She becomes Evangeline Beaumont, wealthy socialite, mansion in Marseille overlooking the Mediterranean, money, security, a future. She's about to throw it all away. June 1940. France falls. Germans roll through Paris like tourists. The government surrenders. Marshal Pétain sets up Vichy. Collaboration, half occupied, half pretending it doesn't matter. Marseille is in the unoccupied zone, the free zone, which is a joke. Nothing free about it. Vichy police arrest Jews, deport refugees, do the Nazis' work. Eva watches French police drag families from homes, load them onto trains east, to camps, to death. She can't watch anymore. Henri comes home one day. The mansion is full of strangers, Jewish families, British soldiers, Belgian refugees, anyone running from Nazis. Eva, what are you doing? Helping. The Vichy police will arrest you. Then we'll be careful. Henri looks at his wife, this beautiful, stubborn, impossible woman. He could stop her, report her, save himself. I'll get more beds, he says. That's how it starts. Small. A family for a few days, pass them to another safe house, then British soldiers needing Spain. Then forged papers, bribed officials, weapons. Eva becomes a smuggler, a spy, something else entirely. What Eva doesn't know, Henri isn't just helping her operation. He's funding 12 other resistance cells across France. The mansion, the wealth, all of it funneled into the network, millions of francs. Dozens of safe houses, hundreds of forged documents. Henri Beaumont is bankrolling half the resistance in southern France. He never tells Eva, doesn't want her implicated if he's caught, doesn't want her to carry that weight. By 1941, Eva runs an escape route through the Pyrenees into Spain. She's forged so many documents she can do German stamps in her sleep. She's bribed half the Vichy police. She's moving Allied soldiers, shot down pilots, escaped POWs, anyone who needs out. The Gestapo knows someone operates in Marseille. They call her the Wraith. She always slips away. They can never catch her. 5 million francs bounty. Highest in France. Eva doesn't know yet. Too busy smuggling refugee number 1037 across the Spanish border. But the Gestapo is getting closer. Henri knows the end is coming. He begs Eva to leave France, flee to London. Safety. Come with me. I can't. Someone has to stay. Then I'm staying. Eva, they will kill you. They have to catch me first. Henri does something Eva doesn't know about. He hires instructors, former French army, security consultants, tells Eva it's for protection. They teach her hand-to-hand combat, knife work, pistols and rifles. The instructor is Michel, 60 years old, retired army sharpshooter. He takes Ava to a range outside Marseille, hands her a hunting rifle, points to a target 600 yards away. See if you can hit that.
Eva has never fired a rifle. She remembers Coney Island, the stillness, the breath, the quiet moment before she fires. Perfect hit. Michelle checks the scope, checks the rifle, checks Eva. Again, same result. Michelle is quiet for a long time. Madame, you have a gift. Steadiest hands I've seen in 30 years. Natural breathing control. You could be one of the finest marksmen in France. Eva doesn't want that. She's not a soldier. She's a rescuer, someone who helps people escape.
But she keeps practicing, because in the back of her mind, she knows. The Gestapo is coming. December 1942. Germans occupy all France. No more free zone. No more pretending. Eva has a best friend, Vivienne Rousseau, 34, social worker, helps Eva identify refugees, families who need help, children who need to disappear. Vivienne is passionate, fearless. Her favorite phrase, save one life, save the world entire. From the Talmud, Eva loves her for it. January 1943. The Gestapo arrests Vivienne. The interrogator is Klaus Richter, Gestapo commandant Marseille's, 45 years old, thin, almost handsome except for the eyes, dead eyes, the eyes of a man who's done terrible things so many times they don't register. Richter knows Vivienne works with the Wraith. He wants names, locations, safe houses, the network. He tortures her for 4 days, waterboarding, beatings, sleep deprivation, electric shocks, everything the Gestapo perfected in 5 years. Vivienne doesn't talk, doesn't give up a single name. Day 4, Richter shoots her in the head, dumps her body with a note pinned to her coat. The Wraith, you're next. Eva hears 6 hours later, cries for 2 hours, then stops, makes a decision, files it away for later. Revenge can wait. People need saving now. February 1943. Henri gets warning. Gestapo coming tonight. For him, for Eva, for everyone. Henri finds Eva at a safe house in Lyon. Don't come home, they're waiting. Run!
Come with me. If I run, they'll know I helped. They'll tear the network apart looking for you. If I stay, if I cooperate, maybe they'll believe I didn't know.
Henri, they'll torture you. Then I won't talk. Eva looks at her husband, the man who bought extra beds when she filled their home with strangers, who paid for weapons training without asking why, who chose to stay knowing what was coming. I love you. I know, now go. Eva runs, one suitcase, one change of clothes. No money, no papers, nothing. She will never see Henri again. Eva tries crossing into Spain 6 times. First time within 5 kilometers of the border. Vichy patrol stops her. Papers are good forgeries, but the officer is suspicious. He radios for backup. Eva runs, woods, 6 hours hiding, walks back to Lyon. Second time, she makes the mountains. February. The Pyrenees in winter, -15 Celsius. Eva wears a dress and heels, all she has. 2 days walking, feet bleeding, fingers numb. Day 3, she collapses in snow. A Basque smuggler finds her, drags her to a farmhouse, saves her life. But the crossing is impossible in this weather. She can't wait. Henri is in Gestapo custody. Every hour delayed is another hour they're torturing him. 3rd attempt, 4th, 5th. Each time, Gestapo closer. Each time she escapes by minutes. 6th attempt, April 1943. 200 kilometers through mountains, in winter, in a dress, bleeding feet, frostbite, hypothermia. She collapses 3 times. Her guide drags her forward. Keep moving or die. She keeps moving. She makes it. Spain interns her, officially neutral, but they lock up refugees. Eva spends 4 months in a Spanish prison. No word from Henri, no word from anyone. just waiting. In the prison, Ava meets another internee, British woman, never exchanges real names, but one night the woman whispers, "They're calling you the Wraith. London knows about you, they're watching. When they make contact, say yes, they need people like you for something bigger." Eva doesn't understand, not yet. 3 months later, the British government intervenes. Eva has intelligence on occupied France. They make a deal. Released. Ship to Gibraltar. Then England. London. May 1943. Eva realizes her escape wasn't luck. It was orchestrated. London pulled strings to free her. They need the Wraith. She expects debriefing, a safe job, filing papers, translating, something appropriate for a woman. Instead, a visitor. American, Office of Strategic Services, OSS, Wild Bill Donovan's secret army. The officer sits across from Eva, 50 years old, grey hair, sharp eyes, slides a folder across the table. "We know who you are, Mrs. Beaumont, the Wraith. 1,037 confirmed evacuations, highest bounty in France. We know what happened to your friend and your husband." Eva's face doesn't change. "My husband? I'm sorry. Confirmation came yesterday. Henri Beaumont was executed October the 16th, 1943. Tortured for 6 months. Never gave your location. Never gave a single name." Eva sits very still. Doesn't cry. Can't. There's a wall inside her now. Built from Vienna. From Vivienne. From 6 attempts crossing Pyrenees. From 4 months in Spanish prison not knowing. He wasn't alive. Hasn't been since October. She's been running 5 months thinking she was protecting him, but he was already gone. "There's more," the officer says. "We found financial records. Henri wasn't just funding your operation. He bankrolled 12 resistance cells across France. Millions of francs, safe houses, forged documents. When the Gestapo arrested him, they realized he funded half the resistance in southern France. Richter tortured him personally, not just for your location, for the money, the network. Henri never talked. Not once." Eva closes her eyes. Henri didn't just help her. He built half the resistance infrastructure in France and died protecting it all. "We want to recruit you," the officer continues, "training operatives to parachute back into France, organize resistance, sabotage, support the invasion when it comes. We need people who know France, who have operational experience, who speak the language, who have every reason to fight." "When do I start?" 3 weeks later, a package arrives, no return address, Henri's handwriting, dated February 1943, the day before his arrest. "My dearest Eva, if you're reading this, I'm gone. I arranged delivery only if I didn't survive. I want you to know I knew what would happen. I chose to stay because your work matters more than my life. You're saving people, real people, families, children. Worth any price. I have one request. Don't stop. Don't hide. Don't let them win. You have skills you don't know yet. Trust the Americans. They'll train you, send you back. And when you go, Eva, finish what we started. I love you, not the society girl, not the journalist. You, the woman who saw evil and decided to fight. The woman who filled our home with strangers because it was right. The woman who will do whatever it takes. Be that woman, save them all. With all my love, Henri." Eva reads it 3 times, folds it carefully, puts it in her pocket, over her heart. Tomorrow, OSS training starts. Klaus Richter thinks he won, thinks he broke the network, killed her friend, killed her husband, thinks the Wraith is gone forever. He's wrong. The Wraith is just getting started, and she's about to learn how to kill from 1,000 yards away. June 1943. England, a training facility that doesn't officially exist. Eva is 31. Oldest female trainee in OSS history. Some male instructors snicker. Wealthy socialite playing soldier. She'll quit by week 2. The training is designed to break recruits. Parachute jumps, weapons, hand-to-hand combat, sabotage, explosives, silent killing, how to survive interrogation, recognize double agents, blow up railways without getting caught. Most wash out. Eva doesn't break. Day 3, mock interrogation, standard procedure. They need to know if you can withstand Gestapo methods. The instructor straps Eva to a chair, screams at her for 6 hours, slaps her. Sleep deprivation, every technique Germans use. Eva sits there, face blank, giving nothing. The instructor tries harder, gets in her face, tells her everyone she loves is dead. She's worthless. She'll break eventually. Everyone breaks. Eva thinks about Vivian. 4 days of real torture. Not this theatre. Real pain. Real terror. Vivian never talked. If Vivian lasted 4 days, Eva can last forever. After 6 hours, the instructor stops, looks at her. How? I've met Nazis, Eva says quietly. You're pretending. They're not as scary when you know what they are. Bullies. And bullies are cowards. The instructor makes a note. Recommend advanced training. Week 4. Weapons qualification. Eva has fired pistols before. Henri's instructors taught her. But OSS is different. They hand her a rifle. Military weapon. Springfield, 1903. Bolt action, 30-06. The range officer is Major Thomas Brennan, 52. Former Marine sniper. First war veteran. Trained 300 snipers. Seen everything, impressed by nothing.
Ever fired military rifle? No, sir. 600 yards, that target. Eva looks downrange, barely visible. Man-sized silhouette, 6 football fields. I see it. Hit it, Eva thinks about Michel. The French instructor, the stillness, the breath. She chambers around, settles into position, finds rhythm between heartbeats. The moment everything goes quiet, she fires. Brennan walks downrange, checks target, walks back, face unchanged, but something in his eyes shifted. Perfect hit!
Again? Same result. Brennan hands her different rifle. Try this. Lee Enfield. British. Different action, different sight picture. Eva fires. Perfect hit again. Brennan is quiet. How long you been shooting? Since 20. Carnival games mostly. Some practice in France. Carnival games? Yes, sir. Brennan looks at the target, at Eva, makes a decision. Starting tomorrow, you train with me. 6 hours daily. I'm teaching you to be a sniper, best kind, the kind enemies never see, never hear, never expect. You have natural talent. Top 1% I've seen. Waste, not to use it. I'm here to save people, not kill them. In war, Brennan says, killing the right person saves dozens of others. 1 German officer dead means 20 Allied soldiers live. 1 collaborator eliminated means 100 refugees escape. You want to save people? This is how. From 1,000 yards. Before they know you're there, Eva thinks about Vivian, Henri, the couple in Vienna. Richter, teach me. 6 months, Eva trains, not just operative, marksman, true sniper. Brennan teaches everything. Wind reading, elevation, breath control, calculate distance without rangefinder, compensate for temperature, humidity, air pressure, Coriolis effect at extreme range, how to move unseen, build a hide, wait hours without moving, slow heart rate, control breathing, become landscape, how to make the shot, the mathematics, the geometry, the patience, and how to kill a human being. Not targets, not silhouettes. People, Enemy soldiers, officers, collaborators, humans with families and lives and futures. Brennan takes her to the range daily, 600 yards, 800, 1,000, 1,200, each distance harder, each shot requiring more precision. Eva hits them all. "You're natural," Brennan says after 3 months. "Trained 200 snipers, maybe 5 had your instinct. You don't think the shot, you just know. That's rare. Separates good snipers from exceptional. But knowing how isn't the same as doing it on a person." December 1943. Brennan takes Eva to remote training ground. There's a deer, 800 yards, grazing. "Wildlife management needs culling," Brennan says. "This isn't practice, this is real. If you can't do this, you can't do the mission. No shame, most people can't. But I need to know now, not when you're in France with German officers in your scope." Eva looks at the deer, alive, innocent. Not Nazi, not collaborator, just an animal. But she thinks about Vivian, Henri. The 1,037 people she saved, the thousands more needing saving. She makes the shot. Perfect hit. The deer drops instantly, doesn't suffer. Eva lowers the rifle, walks to barracks, throws up behind building, stands there, shaking 10 minutes. Brennan finds her, doesn't speak, just waits. "I killed it." "Yes." "First thing I've ever killed." "First is always hardest," Brennan says. "After that it becomes mathematics. Distance, wind, elevation. You stop thinking what you're killing. Think who you're saving. The math works. 1 life taken, dozens saved. Not pleasant, not glorious, but necessary." Eva wipes her mouth, stands straight. "Teach me the rest." By December 1943, Eva completes OSS training. Top of class, perfect scores in weapons, demolitions, codes, tradecraft. Specialty qualification as marksman. One of 3 women in OSS history receiving sniper certification. Codename Phantom, because she's a ghost, kills from impossible distances. By the time you know she's there, you're already dead. The instructors who snickered aren't snickering. Eva is ready. February 29th, 1944. Leap year, extra day. Eva parachutes into France. Auvergne region. Central France. Forests, mountains, farms. Resistance territory. Mission. Lead 7,000 Maquis fighters. Train them. Arm them. Turn them into effective fighting force before invasion. Before D-Day. Before everything depends on French resistance keeping German reinforcements from Normandy. She's one of 39 OSS and SOE agents parachuted into France early 1944. Only 13 will survive. Eva lands in a tree, hangs there 20 minutes before someone finds her. French farmer, looking up at this woman tangled in parachute at 2 a.m. "What are you doing in my tree?" "Hanging around," Eva says in perfect French. "Do you mind?" Farmer laughs, helps her down, takes her to local Maquis leader, Captain Lucien Moreau, 38. Former French army officer, fought 1940, escaped when France fell. Organizing resistance since. He's expecting male OSS officer. Military professional. Someone who knows tactics. Instead, Eva, who immediately demands bath, hot meal, proper lipstick, because OSS issued makeup is terrible. Lucien thinks disaster. London sent useless socialite who'll get everyone killed. He's wrong. Eva spends first week observing. Maquis are brave, willing to die for France, but not soldiers, don't know how to move as unit, set ambush, fight Germans and win. They know how to die gloriously, not enough. Eva starts training them, not gently, screams at them like OSS instructors screamed at her, makes them run until vomiting, drill until hands bleed, some complain, Woman telling us what to do. Outsider, American, Eva hears grumbling. Walks to loudest complainer, big man. Twice her weight. Former dock worker. Think you can do better? Woman shouldn't give orders. Eva smiles. The practiced expression that saved her before. Fight me. You win, you command. I win, you shut up and follow orders. Man laughs, agrees, easy. Eva puts him in hospital. Broken nose, concussion, 8 seconds. Nobody complains after. March through April 1944. Eva transforms Maquis, organizes supply drops, coordinates attacks on German convoys, trains demolition teams, sets up intelligence networks, secures weapons, ammunition, explosives, everything dropped by RAF at night. Dangerous. Germans patrol constantly. One wrong move, one informer, everyone dies. Eva leads every mission personally, won't ask fighters to do anything she won't. And she starts real work. Work Brennan trained her for. Sniper operations, Germans have officers, collaborators, Gestapo agents, people who make occupation work, organize raids, interrogations, executions. Remove them, the machine breaks down. Slows. Gives resistance breathing room. Eva's first kill is German SS officer, March 15, 1944, inspecting checkpoint outside Lyon. 850 yards, light wind, clear sight. Eva sets up in abandoned barn, 2nd floor, window facing east. Officer talking to men, laughing, young, or maybe 25. Somebody's son, brother. Eva thinks about Vivian, Henri, the mathematics of war. 1 life taken, dozens saved, she makes the shot. Officer drops, men scatter, panic. Don't know where shot came from. Eva already moving, already gone. By time they search barn, she's 3 kilometers away. Her hands shake an hour afterward. But not bad, as with deer. Brennan was right. After first, it becomes mathematics. Next 6 weeks, 7 more kills. All officers, all collaborators, all people making occupation work. Ranges 600 to 1100 yards, each carefully planned, each exit rehearsed, each necessary. Germans panic. Don't know who's doing this. Shots from impossible distances. By time they reach shooting position, sniper gone. They call the shooter Phantom. Think it's a team, multiple snipers. Don't believe one person could make these shots. They're wrong. Maquis fighters watch Eva with awe. Not just commander, ghost, legend, woman who walks into German headquarters wearing lipstick and walks out alive. Who kills from distances, seeming like magic. Lucien isn't skeptical anymore. Seen Eva in action, shots he didn't think possible, training fighters into actual force. You're not what I expected. What did you expect? Someone harder, colder. You smile too much for a killer. I'm not a killer, Eva says. I'm a saver. I just happen to kill people in the process. Early April, Eva receives intelligence from OSS London. Encrypted message, Klaus Richter promoted, moved to Paris. Gestapo headquarters, Avenue Foch, nerve center of Nazi operations in France. Same Klaus Richter who tortured Vivian 4 days. Interrogated Henri 6 months. Man responsible for everything Eva lost. More in the file. Photograph from 1938. Charity Gala Paris. Eva in background. Blue dress. Dancing with Henri. And in foreground. Talking to someone, looking at Eva. Klaus Richter. He was at same gala. Saw her. Remembered her. OSS analyst. Includes note with photograph. Handwritten message on photo. Richter's handwriting. The American girl. Blue dress. Laughed when I asked her name. We'll find her again. 6 years later, he did find her, but not how he imagined. Eva reads file 3 times. Thinks about Vivian, Henri. 1,400 miles traveled since Vienna. 1,037 people saved. 8 kills made in 6 weeks. She makes decision. Lucien finds her planning, maps spread out, notes, forged documents. What are you doing? Going to Paris. Why? Klaus Richter. Lucien goes quiet, knows the name. Everyone in resistance knows. Butcher of Marseille. Torturer. Man with 20,000 deaths on his hands. It's suicide. Avenue Foch is fortress. Entire building Gestapo. You'll never get in. If you do, never get out. Probably. But he killed my friend. He killed my husband. He needs to die. You'll die with him. Maybe. Maquis needs you. Invasion coming. We need you alive. I can't lead people if I won't do what needs doing. Richter is evil. Monster. Monsters don't stop until someone stops them. That someone is me. Lucien recognizes that tone. Same tone she used breaking dock worker's nose in 8 seconds. No arguing with it. How can I help? Eva spends 3 weeks preparing. Reconnaissance. Sends Maquis to Paris. Watch Avenue Foch. Map guard rotations, entrances, office layouts. Steal German officer's coat. Female administrative officer. Perfect fit. Forged documents, requisition forms, supply manifests. Bureaucratic nonsense Germans love. Practice the look of confidence. The walk. Eva watches herself in mirrors. Practices until natural, until she becomes someone belonging in Gestapo headquarters. Someone who's done this 100 times. She packs briefcase. 200 grams plastic explosive, British made, stable until armed. Timer mechanism, 5 minutes, enough to exit, not enough to disarm, hidden in false bottom, well-rod pistol, British silent pistol, quietest weapon in Allied arsenal, point blank only, but makes almost no sound. Soft, pop-like, book dropping. Eva killed 8 people, all from distance or all through scope. This will be different, close, personal, looking Klaus Richter in eyes while killing him. She's ready. April 14th, 1944, 3:17 afternoon, Avenue Foch, Paris, heart of Gestapo operations in France, the moment we've been waiting for. Eva stands outside building. This is it. 3 weeks planning, 3 weeks practicing the look of someone who belongs. 3 weeks preparing to kill the man who destroyed everything. She walks through entrance. Guard barely glances. She's wearing stolen coat. Carrying briefcase. Walking like she owns the building. The face of confidence is camouflage. Gestapo expects fear. Nervousness. Confident person must belong here, must have clearance, must be legitimate. Hallway stretches 40 meters. Offices both sides. SS officers moving between rooms, typewriters clacking, phones ringing, sound of occupation. Bureaucracy of terror. Eva's heels click marble, each step measured. Not too fast, not slow. Heart beating fast, but breathing controlled. Brennan's training. Slow the heart, control breath, become still inside. She passes officers. They don't look at her, just another functionary. Administrator, Gestapo full of them. 3rd door left. Klaus Richter's office. Eva knocks twice. Professional, confident. Herein, she opens door. Richter sits at desk, mid-40s, thin, almost handsome except eyes, dead eyes. Eyes of man who's done terrible things so many times they don't register. He looks up, sees Eva, eyes narrow slightly. Wrong. He's seen this woman before, but where? Eva smiles, warm, genuine, someone meeting old friend. I'm sorry to interrupt, Herr Standartenführer, she says, perfect German. I have documents you requested. She places briefcase on desk. Clicks open, papers on top, forged requisition forms, supply manifests, perfectly done. Richter's hand moves slightly toward desk drawer, where Luger is. What documents? Voice cold, controlled, but tension in it. Updated lists from Marseille, Eva says, still smiling. Jewish transports. You wanted confirmation numbers. Richter's eyes narrow further. He did request transport confirmations, but not from this woman. Who is she? He looks at her face, really looks. Shape of jaw, eyes, mouth. And suddenly knows, seen this face before, wanted posters, files. Photograph from 1938. Charity gala. Woman in blue dress who smiled at him once and walked away. The wraith. His hand closes around Luger, draws it, aims at Eva's chest. You, he says. You walked into my office. I did. You must be insane. Eva laughs, actually laughs. Genuine amusement. Probably, but here we are. Richter's finger tightens on trigger. 5 million francs. Most wanted person in France, sitting in his office, smiling at him. Why, he needs to know, needs to understand. Because of what you did to Vivienne Rousseau, Eva says quietly. Smile gone now. My friend, you tortured her 4 days. She never talked, never gave single name. 4th day, you shot her in head. Richter remembers resistance courier, brave woman, lasted longer than most. He's tortured hundreds. But remembers her, she was strong. She died badly, he says. You're about to die worse. Richter fires. Luger loud in small office. Bullet should hit Eva's chest.
Kill her instantly. But Eva already moving, dropping, rolling. Brennan's training. First sign threat, you move. Don't think. Move. Bullet punches through wall behind where she stood. Eva's hand in briefcase. Closing around something, not explosive, something else. Well rod. Silent pistol hidden in false bottom. She fires from floor, once, twice. First round hits Richter's shoulder, spins him. Luger wavers. Second hits his hand. Luger drops, clatters on desk. Richter screams.
Reaches for alarm button on desk. Button bringing 50 SS officers running. Eva faster, across room, kicks chair out from under him. He falls. She's on top. Wellrod pressed against throat, face to face now, inches apart. Eva sees fear in his eyes, finally. After everything, monster is afraid. Vivienne Rousseau screamed for 4 days, Eva says quietly, barely whisper. I'm not giving you 4 seconds. She pulls trigger. Wellrod makes almost no sound. Soft pop, like book dropping on table. Thick office walls muffle even that. Klaus Richter dies on floor of own office. Butcher of Marseille, man with 20,000 deaths on hands, dead in 3 seconds. Eva stands, checks hallway through door, empty. Silenced shot didn't alert anyone. Richter's scream brief. In building full of screams, nobody noticed. Maybe 3 minutes before someone checks, she goes back to briefcase. Arms explosive. Sets timer. 5 minutes. Enough time to exit, not enough to disarm. She walks out of Richter's office. Closes door. Walks down hallway. Past offices. Past SS officers. Past entrance guard. Outside. Into Paris afternoon. Spring sunshine. People walking, living lives. Not knowing in 3 minutes Gestapo headquarters explodes. Eva walks 2 blocks, turns corner, keeps walking, calm, unhurried, just another woman in coat, just another Parisian going about day. Behind her, explosion, massive, entire 3rd floor of building, windows shatter, debris rains down. People scream, run. Eva doesn't run, doesn't look back, just keeps walking. Later, reports say 14 Gestapo officers died in explosion, 27 wounded, critical files destroyed, Gestapo Paris operations crippled weeks. But Eva doesn't know most important thing. In Richter's office, in his desk, there was file. List of 1,363 French civilians marked for execution, resistance suspects, sympathizers, people who knew too much, all scheduled to die next 3 months. Explosion destroyed file, destroyed list, destroyed only copy. 1,363 people will live, will never know they were marked for death, will never know Eva Ashford saved them. Combined with 1,037 refugees Eva evacuated from Marseille, that's 2,400 lives, 2,400 people who will live, who will have children, grandchildren, futures. Eva came to Paris for revenge. She got revenge. But also something else, something bigger, something mattering long after war ends. She saved 2,400 worlds. Eva returns to the Auvergne. The Maquis celebrate. Word spreads fast through the resistance network. The Phantom killed the butcher of Marseille, walked into Gestapo headquarters wearing lipstick, and walked out alive while the building burned behind her. It's already a legend, the kind of story that gets bigger with each telling. By the time it reaches the outer cells, Eva supposedly killed 20 Gestapo officers and escaped on a motorcycle while shooting behind her. The truth is simpler and harder. She killed one man, the right man, the man who needed to die. But she doesn't feel victorious. She feels empty. Vivian is still dead. Henri is still dead. Richter's death doesn't bring them back. Justice isn't resurrection. Lucien finds her sitting alone, away from the celebration. "You should be proud," he says. "Should I? You did what needed doing. You removed a monster." "I became a monster to do it." Lucien sits beside her, quiet for a moment. Then he says something Eva will remember for the rest of her life. Monsters don't feel regret. Monsters don't question their actions. Monsters don't cry for the people they've lost. You're not a monster, madame. You're a soldier. And soldiers carry the weight of what they do. That's the difference. Eva doesn't respond, but she files it away. Adds it to the things she'll think about later, when the war is over, when there's time for thinking. Right now, there's only work. May 1944, 3 weeks after Paris. Eva's radio operator is Denny, 22 years old, eager, competent, good with codes and frequencies, maybe a little too eager to prove himself to the legendary Phantom. During a supply drop, Denny transmits coordinates back to London, standard procedure, but he makes a mistake. Small thing. Stays on the air 30 seconds too long, just 30 seconds. Wants to confirm the message was received clearly. Wants to do it right. The Germans have radio direction finders, trucks with rotating antennas that can triangulate a signal, find its source. They've been hunting for resistance radio operators for months, waiting for someone to make exactly this mistake. They find it. The raid comes at dawn. Eva is 3 kilometers away at another camp. She hears the gunfire. Knows immediately what happened. Dennis escapes, runs into the forest, smart enough to run, fast enough to make it, but the radio doesn't escape. The Germans smash it, destroy it completely, stomp on the pieces, make sure it can never transmit again. Suddenly, Eva's 7,000 Maquis fighters are cut off from London. No way to coordinate, no way to call in supply drops, no way to receive orders, no way to know when D-Day is coming or what they're supposed to do when it does. They need a new radio. Lucien calls a meeting. The commanders gather. Maps spread across a table in the forest. Nearest SOE radio is in Châteauroux, Lucien says. 500 kilometers, another resistance cell. They have a backup unit they might spare. Might? One of the commanders asks. They need it too, but if we explain the situation, the 7,000 fighters, the invasion coming, they might help. 500 kilometers, another commander says. Through German checkpoints, patrols, occupied territory. With the invasion coming, security is maximum. They're searching everything. Lucien nods. I'll take 2 men. We can pose as farm workers, travel separately, meet in Châteauroux, get the radio, bring it back. Eva is already shaking her head. You'll be stopped at the first checkpoint, she says. 3 men traveling the same direction, even separately. The Germans will search you. They're looking for exactly this. Resistance operatives moving equipment, they'll find weapons, they'll find your real papers hidden in your shoes. You'll be shot before you get 100 kilometers. Then what do you suggest? Eva looks at the bicycle leaning against a tree, beat up, rusty, 30 years old, the kind farmers use to haul vegetables to market, the kind nobody looks at twice. I'll go, she says. The room erupts. Too dangerous. The Gestapo has her picture on every wall in France. 5 million francs. The phantom. The woman who killed Richter. If she's caught, she'll be tortured, executed, made an example. The whole Maquis operation compromised. Eva waits for the noise to die down. The Germans are looking for armed men, resistance fighters, radio operators. They're not looking for farm women on bicycles. There are thousands of us on the roads every day. Invisible. I'll be one more. Nobody important. Your face is on wanted posters, Lucien says. Wanted posters show a glamorous woman. Hair styled, makeup, confident. I'll be a tired farmhand, dirty, plain, hair tied back, no makeup, defeated. The kind of woman the occupation creates, the kind nobody notices. The Germans see what they expect to see. I'll give them exactly that. The commanders argue, but Eva's mind is made up, and deep down they all know she's right. A woman on a bicycle has a chance. 3 men don't. She takes the bicycle. No weapons, no radio, nothing that could identify her as resistance. Just forged identity documents. Marie Blanc, farmhand, age 30, traveling to Châteauroux to visit her sick mother. Pneumonia, might not last the week. Simple story, sad story. The kind the Germans hear 100 times a day. She wears a plain dress, brown, worn, patches on the elbows, ties her hair back with a rag, no lipstick, no jewelry, rubs dirt on her face, looks at herself in a mirror, perfect. She looks defeated, tired, hopeless, exactly like France in May 1944. She doesn't look like the phantom. She looks like nobody. May 20th, 1944. Dawn. Evangeline Ashford starts riding. The first day, she covers 100 kilometers. The bicycle is terrible. Chain slips, brakes barely work. Seat is torture. But it's anonymous, it's invisible, it's perfect. Her legs start screaming after 20 kilometers. She's not trained for this, trained to shoot, to infiltrate, to kill from impossible distances, not to ride a bicycle across France. She pushes forward anyway. First checkpoint, noon, 3 German soldiers. Bored. They've been standing here since sunrise checking papers. Farm workers, old women, children, nothing interesting. Eva stops, gets off the bicycle, approaches slowly, submissive, defeated, hands over her forged papers without being asked. The soldier barely glances at them, looks at her instead, sees a tired farm woman, dirty, plain, no threat. Where are you going? Châteauroux, sir. My mother is very ill.
What's wrong with her? Pneumonia. The doctor says she might not survive the week. I need to see her. Before she's gone. The soldier's face softens slightly. Maybe he has a mother too. Maybe he understands. He hands back the papers, waves her through. Go, hurry! Eva rides on, doesn't show relief, doesn't acknowledge how easily that worked. Just a tired daughter rushing to see her dying mother. Exactly what she appears to be. Second checkpoint, evening, different soldiers.
Same routine, same submissive approach, same sad story. They wave her through without searching anything. By nightfall, Eva has covered 150 kilometers. Her hands are blistered, raw. The handlebars are metal, no padding. Every bump sends pain through her palms. Her legs are beyond pain, just numb. Moving on muscle memory and will. She doesn't stop. Can't risk it, can't stay in a town, can't be remembered. The longer she's on the road, the more chance someone recognizes her. Speed is survival. She continues through the night. Second day, dawn breaks. Eva is still riding. She's operating on maybe 4 hours of sleep in the last 48. Her vision starts to blur at the edges. Exhaustion, dehydration, pain. Her body is telling her to stop, to rest, to quit. She forces herself onward. The mathematics are simple. 7,000 fighters need that radio. The invasion is coming. Without coordination, they'll fail. People will die. The war might be lost. One woman's pain versus thousands of lives. The math works. It always works. She drives herself forward. Third checkpoint. Morning of day 2. This one is different. More soldiers. 5 instead of 3. They're searching everyone. Opening bags. Checking cargo. Looking for contraband. For weapons. For resistance operatives. Eva's bicycle has nothing. Just her. Just the dress on her back. Just the forged papers in her pocket. But the soldiers are thorough. Suspicious. The officer in charge looks at everyone carefully. Really looks. Eva approaches. Gets off the bicycle. Submissive. Tired. Her exhaustion isn't an act anymore. It's real. She can barely stand. The officer takes her papers. Studies them. Studies her face. Eva can see him thinking. Something familiar. Has he seen her before? Then she remembers. The smile, the confidence, that's what the wanted posters show. A woman who looks dangerous, capable, strong. Eva doesn't smile, doesn't make eye contact, just stands there, defeated, broken, the kind of woman the occupation creates every day. The officer looks at the papers again, looks at her again. Marie Blanc, your mother is ill? Yes, sir, pneumonia. You've ridden from Auvergne? Yes, sir. That's 200 kilometers. I know, sir, but she's my mother. I have to see her before it's too late. The officer's face doesn't change, but something in his eyes does. Maybe compassion, maybe just exhaustion. Maybe he's tired of this war too. He hands back the papers. Go. Hurry. If she's as sick as you say, you shouldn't waste time talking to me. Eva takes the papers, mounts the bicycle, rides away. Won't know until after the war. That officer had her wanted poster in his office. The Phantom. 5 million francs. He looked at it every day. But he saw what he expected to see. A broken farm woman on a rusty bicycle, not a legendary operative, not the woman who killed Klaus Richter. Confidence is camouflage, but so is defeat. Third day, Eva is hallucinating. She sees Henri, standing by the roadside, watching her pass. He doesn't speak, just watches. She knows he's not real, knows he's been dead since October 1943. But he looks so real. She sees Vivian, walking beside the bicycle, keeping pace, talking, telling her not to quit, telling her to keep going. The voice sounds exactly right. She sees the 8 people she's killed, the officers, the collaborators, all standing in a line, watching, judging. She pedals through them, through the ghosts, through the exhaustion, through the pain that's become her entire world. Fourth day, Châteauroux. Eva has ridden 400 kilometers in 4 days. She can barely stand, can barely speak. Her hands are destroyed, bleeding, infected. The blisters have burst and reformed and burst again. Her legs are swollen, purple with bruising. Every movement is agony. But she's here. She finds the resistance contact. A baker, older man, 60s. He looks at her like she's a ghost, like she's done something impossible. Code phrase. Recognition signal. Eva explains the situation, voice hoarse, words coming slow. We need the radio. 7,000 fighters. Cut off. Invasion coming. Need coordination. The baker is quiet, looking at this woman who can barely stand, who rode 400 kilometers on a bicycle, who looks like death. We can't give it to you, he finally says. We need it. London doesn't send extras. If we give you our backup, what do we use when our main unit fails? Eva doesn't argue, doesn't threaten, just waits, stands there swaying slightly, lets him see the cost, the hands, the legs, the determination. She speaks quietly, each word an effort. I rode 500 kilometers to get here. I'm riding 500 kilometers back, with or without the radio, but my fighters need it. 7,000 men. Good men, brave men. They'll die without orders, they'll fail, and the invasion might fail with them. She pauses, breathes. So you decide, your convenience or their lives. The baker studies her face, sees something there, something unbreakable. He goes to the back room, returns with a radio. British SOE Mark II, 30 pounds, bulky, impossible to hide. After the war, he says, you bring this back, personally, so I know you made it. Eva nods, takes the radio, wraps it in blankets, makes it look like farm supplies, onions, potatoes, vegetables, the kind of cargo a farm woman carries. She starts the ride back. 500 kilometers, same route, reverse direction, but now she's carrying a radio, which makes her a target. If the Germans search her, if they find it, she's dead. Immediately, no questions, no trial, just shot by the roadside. The pain is worse on the return. The infected hands, the destroyed legs, every pedal stroke is torture, but she won't stop. Can't stop. The mathematics still work. 5th day, another checkpoint. The Germans want to search her cargo, want to see what's in the blankets. Eva stops, gets off, smiles. Not the confident smile from Paris, a tired smile, a defeated smile, the smile of someone who's been riding for 5 days to visit her dying mother and is now going home to bury her. Just vegetables, sir, she says, voice breaking slightly. For my village, we're starving, the occupation, we have nothing.
I had to beg my mother's neighbors for these. It's all we have. The German soldier looks at her, looks at the bicycle, looks at this tired, dirty, broken woman who's clearly been riding for days. He sees defeat, sees the occupation working exactly as intended, breaking people, making them desperate. Go, he says. Eva mounts the bicycle, rides away, still doesn't show relief, still doesn't acknowledge how close that was. Just a broken woman going home. 6th day.
Eva is operating on pure will now. Her conscious mind has shut down. She's a machine, pedaling, breathing, existing, nothing more. The bicycle is disintegrating. The chain slips every few minutes. The brakes are gone. The tires are worn smooth. It's a miracle it still moves. Eva is disintegrating too, but she still moves. 7th day, dawn. Eva rides into the Maquis camp, dismounts, walks to where Denny is standing, hands him the radio, says one word, barely a whisper, here. Then her legs give out. She collapses. Lucien catches her before she hits the ground. She sleeps for 20 hours straight. When she wakes, the entire camp is silent. 7,000 men standing around, staring at her like she's done something beyond human. Lucien tells her later. They tracked her progress, a network of observers, watching, reporting. They know she rode 1,000 kilometers, 7 days, 3 German checkpoints on the way there, 4 on the way back, carrying a radio that would have gotten her executed if discovered. It was just a bicycle ride, Eva says. Lucien laughs, actually laughs, for the first time in months. Madame, you are completely insane. 1,000 kilometers, 7 days through occupied France, carrying a radio, you're insane. Probably, Eva says. But we have a radio. Denny activates it that evening, makes contact with London. The first message comes through encrypted, takes him 10 minutes to decode. When he's done, his hands are shaking. He finds Eva, hands her the decoded message. 3 words. Execute Plan Violet. Below that, a date. June 6th, 1944. D-Day. Without that radio, without that message, the Maquis wouldn't know when. Wouldn't know the targets. Wouldn't know their role. The entire operation would fail. Eva Ashford rode 1,000 kilometers on a bicycle. She saved the invasion. She just doesn't know it yet. June 6th, 1944. The radio crackles to life at 0400 hours. Execute. Plan Violet. Eva mobilizes all 7,000 Maquis fighters. They've been training for 6 months, waiting for this moment. Now it's here. Plan Violet. Destroy all railway infrastructure in central France. Prevent German reinforcements from reaching Normandy. Buy time for the invasion to succeed. The Germans have 15 divisions in southern France. Panthers, Tigers, elite troops, artillery. If they reached Normandy in the first week, they could destroy the beachhead, could push the Allies back into the sea, could turn D-Day from victory into catastrophe. Eva's mission is simple. Keep them here, keep them scattered, keep them from organizing. The Maquis hit every railway simultaneously. Demolition charges on bridges, rails torn up, signal stations destroyed, telegraph lines cut, communication hubs sabotaged. Every line from Marseille to Paris, from Lyon to Bordeaux, severed. Within 24 hours, the Germans cannot move by rail at all. Their trains are stopped, their logistics paralyzed, their response crippled. German commanders try to adapt, send repair crews, organize convoys, move troops by road. Every repair crew gets ambushed, every convoy hit. The Maquis are everywhere and nowhere. Eva coordinates from headquarters, forest command post, maps, radio reports, allocating fighters, directing operations. She's conducting destruction, a symphony of sabotage, but she's not just coordinating, she's hunting. Because while the Maquis wreck railways, Eva has a different mission. Officers, the men trying to organize German response, the men trying to get troops moving north, remove them, and the German response falls apart completely. June 8, 1944, Eva's first kill of the D-Day campaign. German colonel, 950 yards. He's outside a command post near Lyon, pointing at a map, organizing a motorized convoy, trying to move a panzer company north by road. Eva is positioned in an abandoned warehouse, 3rd floor, window facing east. She's been here since 0300, waiting, patient, the way Brennan taught her. The colonel steps into her sight line. Eva breathes, slow, controlled, finds the space between heartbeats. The moment when everything goes still, she fires. The colonel drops, his staff scatters. Panics, don't know where the shot came from. By the time they organize a search, Eva is 3 kilometers away. The convoy never forms. The panzers stay put. June 10th, 1944. Second kill. Different target. German major coordinating railway repairs. 1,050 yards. Difficult shot. Wind. Distance, but necessary. Eva makes it. The major falls. The repair operations dissolve into chaos. June 15th, 1944. Third kill. The most important. German general. The officer responsible for all troop movements in the southern region, the man trying to get 15 divisions to Normandy. He's in a staff car, moving, traveling between command posts, trying to coordinate personally since communications are down. Eva has intelligence on his route, sets up accordingly. Ridge overlooking the road, 1,150 yards. The car will be moving, maybe 50 kilometers per hour. The shot is nearly impossible. Eva waits. The car appears. She calculates lead. wind, elevation, the movement of the target. She fires. The bullet goes through the rear window, hits the general in the head. The car swerves, crashes. German response in southern France collapses without the general, without coordination, without leadership. The divisions stay scattered, disorganized. By the time they get a new commander, by the time they reorganize, it's too late. The Allies have broken out of Normandy. For 6 weeks, Eva and the Maquis keep pressure on, keep hitting, keep the Germans scattered and reactive. Eva makes no more kills during this period, doesn't need to. The 3 she made were enough. Decapitated the response, removed the leadership, created chaos. By mid-July, when the railways are finally restored, when the Germans finally organize, Normandy is secure. The invasion succeeded. Historians will write about the bravery of soldiers on Omaha Beach, about paratroopers, about naval bombardment. They'll barely mention the French resistance, won't mention Plan Violet, won't mention the railways that didn't work, the Germans who never arrived. Won't mention that a woman rode 1,000 kilometers to make it possible. Eva doesn't care about historians. She cares that it worked. July 1944. The Germans know who's responsible. The Phantom, Eva Ashford. The woman who killed Klaus Richter. The woman leading 7,000 Maquis. The woman who's been killing their officers for 3 months. They send 22,000 troops to end it. Orders from Berlin: find her headquarters, destroy the Maquis, kill the Phantom, make an example. 22,000 troops, infantry, armor, artillery, air support, everything, against Eva's 7,000, armed mostly with rifles, Sten guns, whatever they captured. No armor, no aircraft, no artillery. Standard doctrine says, evacuate, scatter, disappear into the population, live to fight another day. Eva refuses. If we run, they win, she tells the commanders. They learn that overwhelming force works. They'll do it again, somewhere else, to someone else. We need to show them that force doesn't matter, that we can beat them anyway. We can't beat 22,000 troops, Lucien says. We don't have to beat them, we have to make them quit. Eva plans carefully, not defense, attack, hit German supply lines, force them to disperse, use the terrain, the forests, the mountains, make them fight on Maquis terms. The Germans approach expecting a siege, expecting the Maquis to hide in fortified positions, expecting defense. Eva attacks their supply column at dawn. Coordinated strike, hit from 3 sides, kill 500 Germans, destroy 30 trucks, capture weapons and ammunition, then disappear before the main force responds. The Germans regroup, launch a massive assault on where they think the Maquis headquarters is. Artillery barrage, infantry assault, armor. They're hitting empty forest. The Maquis moved 2 nights ago. This pattern repeats for 3 weeks. Germans attack. Maquis aren't there. Maquis attack. Germans can't respond fast enough. Classic guerrilla warfare. Eva learned it from OSS, perfected it here. And she's hunting again. Sniper work, the thing she's best at. She sets up on a ridge 1,200 yards from the German encampment. Can see their headquarters, their command post, their officers. First kill, German major, 1,180 yards. He's coordinating artillery strikes. Eva's bullet removes him. German artillery becomes sporadic, uncoordinated. She relocates immediately. Never the same position twice. Counter-sniper protocol. The Germans have snipers too. If she stays, they'll find her. New position, different angle, 1,200 yards now. German radio operator, the senior communications officer trying to coordinate between units. Eva's bullet silences him. German communications degrade further. Third kill, 1,000 yards closer now. Battalion commander organizing an assault. Eva removes him. The assault dissolves. Over 3 weeks, 8 confirmed kills. All officers, all ranges over 800 yards. The longest is 1,200 yards. Exceptional even by military standards, the Germans panic, can't find the sniper, can't predict positions, can't protect their officers. Every time someone important steps outside, they risk invisible death. They start calling her the Devil of Auvergne, the ghost who kills from impossible distances. Meanwhile, the Maquis continue hit and run, small attacks. Constant pressure. The Germans are losing men daily. Wounded, killed, exhausted. By early August, German casualties reach 1,400. Killed and wounded. Maquis casualties are 100 dead, 200 wounded, against 22,000 troops. The German commander is Oberst Wilhelm Adler. Competent, professional, not a fanatic, just a soldier doing his job. He makes a decision, withdraws his forces, tells Berlin the operation is untenable, that they're fighting ghosts, that continuing wastes resources needed elsewhere. He doesn't tell Berlin the real reason. His brother was Klaus Richter, the Gestapo officer Eva killed in Paris. Adler read his brother's files after the death, saw what Klaus did, the torture, the executions, the cruelty. Adler knows the Phantom killed his brother, knows she's the one hunting his officers now, and he believes she's right. After the war, his diary is recovered. One entry from August 1944. My brother was a monster. I read his files, saw what he did to that woman Rousseau, to Henri Beaumont, to thousands of others. He deserved death. The Phantom gave him justice. She fights for something real, for people, for freedom. I fight for orders, for a regime I no longer believe in. I cannot, in conscience, destroy her. History will judge me. I accept that judgment. But I will not kill the woman who rid the world of my brother's evil. Oberst Adler lets Eva escape, deliberately. Orders the withdrawal, knowing exactly what it means. August 25th, 1944. Paris is liberated. The Allies sweep across France. The war isn't over. Won't be over for 9 more months, but the end is visible now. Eva receives a letter from Marseille, Henri's lawyer. She's been expecting this, knew it was coming since London, since the OSS officer told her in May 1943. But knowing something and reading it are different. She opens it. Madame Beaumont, I regret to inform you that your husband, Henri Beaumont, was executed by the Gestapo on October the 16th, 1943. He was held for 8 months, tortured repeatedly for information on your whereabouts and your network. According to witnesses who survived, he never spoke, never revealed a single name, never gave them anything. His last words, spoken to a guard the night before his execution, were, "Tell Eva to finish what we started. Tell her I love her. Tell her it was worth it." Eva reads it 3 times. She knew, has known for 15 months. But reading the words makes it real in a different way. She's been fighting for 15 months, thinking about Henri, using him as motivation, as fuel, as reason to continue. He was already gone, dead since October 1943. While she was still in England, still training, still learning to be a sniper. She doesn't cry. There's a wall inside now, built from too much death, too much loss, too much war. The wall keeps her functional, keeps her moving, but it also keeps her from feeling. She folds the letter carefully, puts it in her pocket, over her heart, where Henri's earlier letter still rests. She whispers something, so quiet nobody hears. I finished it, Henri. Plan Violet, D-Day, the siege, all of it. I finished what we started, and you were right. It was worth it. The war ends May 8th, 1945. Victory in Europe. The shooting stops. The dying stops. The world begins the long process of healing. Eva is 32 years old. She's killed 19 people, 8 before D-Day, 3 during the invasion operations, 8 during the siege, all confirmed, all at distance, all necessary. She never fires a weapon again. The medals come, ceremonies, governments wanting to honor the heroes, the operatives who made it possible. United States Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian award America gives. British George Medal for gallantry. French Legion d'Honneur, Croix de Guerre with Palm, the nation's highest military decorations. Australia Service Medal, she's the most decorated female operative in Allied history. More medals than some generals. She refuses every interview, every book deal, every documentary request, every attempt to make her story public. I did what needed doing, she tells one persistent journalist. So did thousands of others. Most of them died. I lived. That's not heroism. That's luck. She moves to California. Small town, quiet, goes back to journalism, writes about fashion and society and culture, the same work she did before Vienna, before everything changed. People who don't know ask why. Why waste those skills? Why not do something important with the rest of your life? People who know don't ask, they understand. She did something important for 4 years, saved 2,400 lives. That's enough importance for one lifetime. The rest is just living. She never marries again, never has children, lives alone in a small house overlooking the ocean, writes her articles, tends a small garden, reads, exists peacefully. Once a year, on October 16th, she places flowers on an empty grave, Henri's name engraved on the stone. No body. He's buried somewhere in France. A mass grave, probably. But she has the stone anyway, a place to remember. In 1980, a historian researching the French resistance finds her, tracks her down, asks for one interview, just one, for the historical record. Eva agrees. 1 hour, that's all. They meet in her home. The historian sets up a tape recorder, asks questions about the network, the 1,037 refugees. I didn't save them alone. Henri saved them. Vivian saved them. Dozens of others whose names nobody remembers. I was just one part. About the bicycle ride. It was just a bicycle ride. People do harder things every day. They just don't get medals for it. About killing Klaus Richter. He deserved it. For Vivian, for Henri, for the thousands of others he tortured and killed. I don't regret it. About the siege. About holding off 22,000 Germans. We didn't hold them off. We made them quit. There's a difference. We made continuing more expensive than withdrawing. That's not military genius. That's just math. The historian pauses, then asks the question everyone wants answered. Do you regret any of it? The killing, the sacrifice, the cost. Eva is quiet for a long time, looking out the window at the ocean. Then she speaks. I regret that it was necessary. I regret that people like Richter exist. I regret that good people like Henri and Vivienne had to die fighting them. I regret every single person I killed, even though they needed killing. I regret the wall inside me that lets me live with what I did. She pauses. But do I regret fighting? No. Some things matter more than safety, more than comfort. More than survival. Freedom matters, justice matters. Standing up when everyone else sits down matters. Henri understood that. That's why he stayed when he could have run. That's why he never talked, even when they tortured him for 8 months. Vivian understood it. That's why she lasted 4 days and never gave up a single name. I understood it too. That's why I did what I did. Another pause. I won't waste their sacrifice by regretting it. The historian asks one final question. Not on his prepared list, just curiosity. Was it worth it? Eva looks at him, really looks, and she smiles. Not the smile she used on Richter. A different smile, genuine, peaceful. Ask the 2,400 people who lived. Ask their children. Ask their grandchildren. Ask the 50,000 people alive today, because I refuse to look away in Vienna. They'll tell you if it was worth it. Evangeline Ashford dies March 15th, 2011, 98 years old, peacefully, in her sleep, in her home, the ocean outside, the sun rising. Her funeral is small, private. She requested no military honors, no ceremony, no fuss. Just a quiet burial, a simple stone. But something unexpected happens. People come anyway. Not hundreds, thousands. They start arriving 3 days before the funeral, filling the small town. Descendants of the 2400. They'd been finding each other for years. Online forums, genealogy websites, DNA tests, building a network of people connected by one woman's refusal to quit. They come to say thank you, to pay respects, to honor the woman who gave them life by saving their grandparents. June 2024. A cemetery in California, 13 years after Eva's death. An elderly man approaches the grave, 95 years old, leaning heavily on a cane. His family follows. 3 generations, 14 people total. He places a single flower on the stone, white rose, stands there silent for a moment, then speaks, voice shaking slightly. My mother was refugee number 286, December 1941. You carried me across the Pyrenees. I was 6 months old. My mother told me the story before she died, about the woman who refused to leave children behind, who carried 3 infants that night, even though it slowed her down, even though it put her at risk. He pauses, wipes his eyes. I wouldn't exist without you. My 3 children wouldn't exist. My 7 grandchildren wouldn't exist. My 4 great-grandchildren wouldn't exist. 18 people standing here and back home, all alive because you didn't quit. His voice breaks. Thank you for everything, for carrying me, for saving my mother, for giving us all life. The camera pulls back, wider, shows the full scene. Not just 14 people, hundreds. All around the cemetery, all descendants, all alive because of Eva. Text appears, white letters on black. Evangeline Ashford evacuated 1,037 refugees between 1940 and 1942. Her assassination of Klaus Richter on April 14, 1944, destroyed Gestapo files listing 1,363 French civilians marked for execution. 2,400 lives saved directly. Her coordination of planned violent sabotage operations during D-Day prevented German reinforcements from reaching Normandy, contributing to Allied victory. Her defense against 22,000 German troops with 7,000 Maquis fighters remains one of the most successful guerrilla campaigns in military history. As of 2024, the 2,400 people she saved have over 50,000 living descendants worldwide. Among those descendants, 247 doctors, 89 teachers, 12 scientists, 3 Nobel Prize winners, and thousands of ordinary people living ordinary lives that wouldn't exist without her. The text fades. Eva's voice. From the 1980 interview. Archival audio, slightly scratchy but clear. The Talmud says, whoever saves one life saves the world entire. I saved 2,400 worlds, but I didn't do it alone. Henri saved them, Vivienne saved them, Lucien and the Maquis fighters, the 100 who died, they all saved them. I just rode a bicycle. And smiled when a monster pointed a gun at my chest, because monsters are cowards. And cowards don't deserve fear, they deserve laughter, then justice. Final image, the grave, simple stone, Eva's name. Dates, 1912 to 2011. Flowers everywhere, hundreds of them, left by people she never met, people who owe her everything. Sunlight through trees, peace, quiet, fade to black. This is the story of Evangeline Ashford, the party girl who saw evil and refused to look away. The failed nursing student who saved more lives than any nurse, the sniper who killed 19 people to save thousands, The woman who rode 1,000 kilometers when she could barely stand. The operative who smiled at death and laughed at monsters. History barely remembers her name. The files are still partially classified. The full story still protected. But 50,000 people remember. Their existence is her legacy. Not all heroes wear uniforms. Not all battles happen on beaches. Not all victories are celebrated with parades. Sometimes heroism is getting on a bicycle when your hands are bleeding. Sometimes courage is smiling when death points a gun at your chest. Sometimes victory is saving one person, then another, until you've saved 2,400 worlds. Evangeline Ashford didn't set out to be a hero. She just made one choice, then another, paid the price, never looked back, never quit. And because she didn't quit, 50,000 people exist today who wouldn't otherwise. That's not glory, that's not fame, that's just math. The mathematics of heroism. One life saved, then another, until the numbers become so large they stop meaning anything except this. The world is better because one person refused to do nothing. Eva Ashford refused to do nothing. And the world is better because she did.